Okay, welcome. Today we've got our latest episode of Inside the Music. We have Callum Gentleman. Welcome.
Hey Alex, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Thanks for having me in.
You're welcome. So tell us about yourself. You have an interesting style of music.
Yeah, I do have an interesting style of music, and damn, I should have had an answer for this question because I never have a good answer for it. It's dark folk, I think, or gothic folk. Aldous Harding's been using a term called gothic folk, which I think kind of works really well for what we're doing. It's storytelling songs. I play acoustic, so it's mostly acoustic. But then Joel Vincent, who plays electric guitar, he doesn't really do harmonies. He mostly does textures, and so does Sam, who plays violin. So we come up with these kind of eerie and sometimes a little bit dark and creepy storytelling songs about people who have lives that go awry.
No, dark and creepy.
I know it's not Taylor Swift, and I know it's probably, I don't know if I'm going to go #1 in America with that description, but dark and creepy, sometimes fun, but yeah, atmospheric is a good term as well.
Yeah. No, it's just interesting because I remember reading an interview where you said you were inspired by the Muppets.
Yeah, I was. Well, as a kid.
Which
I guess I still am inspired by the Muppets.
Not quite dark and creepy though.
Not dark and creepy, but like the songs that I remember liking from the Muppets as a kid and singing along to is like Robin, like Kermit's nephew Robin, the littlest frog. He has this song Halfway on the Stairs, where he's kind of sitting there halfway down the stairs singing this really sad song about, not going anywhere really. And that's the song I really remember as a kid, this sad song. So I guess from the beginning, it's the slightly sad ballady songs just had a chord with me.
No. So how long did it take you to get into the music from that point then?
Ages. As a kid, I had this thing in my head that you either have talent or you don't have talent. And so there's other kids at school who, you pick up a guitar and try and get some chords, and then you watch them and they'd be already on it. And so I just went, oh, well, I'm not talented then, am I? Didn't figure out that one of those guys, AJ, for instance, his dad was a musician. And so he'd been playing the guitar and been around to play it since he was born. So it wasn't that he was necessarily any more talented. He is a talented player, but just he'd been around it. And I never figured out, nobody really ever properly got through to me that if you just sit down and practice, bro, you actually get okay. I just went, nah, I'm clearly not naturally a guitar player or a singer or anything. Let's flag this and just, I don't know, do something else. But in the end, I kind of had to. In the end, it's just like the desire to play music was stronger than not. So even though I didn't think I was all that good, I had to start trying. Yeah.
Was the guitar your first choice?
As a kid, my dad got me onto the piano, but I had a particularly brutal piano teacher. That was me done with piano. I was just like, nah, I can't do that again. I'd love to go back and play a bit of piano, but yeah, playing guitar and singing, those are the first choices. Yeah, certainly lyrics. I kind of figured by the time I came to wanting to write music and do music, I thought, well, my guitar playing is okay, but I know I can do lyrics. I know I can work with words, and I love the poetry of it. So the words became the focus when I first started getting into music properly.
Okay. So, with your lyrics, like what helps you come up with the lyrics that you come? Is it stories, anecdotes that you've lived through, or just ideas?
It's a weird one, kind of walking around, like this conversations and things pop into my head as I'm walking around. Literally, if I'm having trouble writing a song, I just stop writing. And even if it's pissing rain outside, I'll just go for a walk. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, things come when I'm on the move. I find touring's great because even just driving, it's not walking, but there's something about driving and moving that things just come up and pop in. And other than that, I snoop on people's conversations, and if it sounds good, I'll write it down.
All right. Fair enough.
Sorry, boys, I've been keeping notes.
So you mentioned the touring. So when you guys have been playing, you've gone to quite a lot of smaller venues, like a lot of places around the country.
Yeah.
Was that what made you choose to do that?
A few reasons. I'm a really big fan of a band called the Eastern, who are based out of Littleton, and those guys they were touring monsters. They would just tour everywhere. They'd be playing every night of the week, almost every week of the year. And they play anything. And I kind of realized that for me it was about, I want to play. I don't want to sort of save myself, you know. It's like I think some people have a grand vision and they're trying to strategize. And it's like, okay, well, if we only play these key events and venues, then, you know, we'll climb up the ladder and we'll be playing Vector any day now. And I'm like, no, screw that. I'd rather just play. I just want to get out there and play. And I want to see places. I want to cruise around. Playing small venues in Auckland is a really quick road to not having people turn up anymore because, you know, all your friends have seen you.
Yeah.
And so touring, getting out on the road, seeing places, meeting new people and going to places where, you know, people quite often do come out in the smaller towns because, you know, there's a gig on. And if you get out there and want to play music for them, usually there's people who want to come along.
Yeah. So what have you had any favourite spots?
Yeah, Barrytown in the south, near Greymouth in the South Island. It's a dream. It was a dream. That's one of those weird, iconic little places. Why it's on the map, who knows? But it's amazing. I mean, Fugazi have played there, I believe. You know, it's amazing who's played there over the years. Townes Van Zandt, I'm a big fan of his. He played there. And yeah, almost every musician that I was into from New Zealand had been through Barrytown, so we got to play that last year, and that was a huge thrill. I loved it. And the Wine Cellar here in Auckland, I love the Wine Cellar. Really love the sound. I mean, I love the people down there. I love what Rowan Evans down there does with the sound and with his venue, but love playing the Wine Cellar.
You did a show at the Wine Cellar a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah, first show this year.
Did it go well?
Yeah. It went well. That's bizarre, never happens before. Yeah, it was great. Had a really nice night. Played with Being, who's fucking awesome. If you get a chance to catch her, she's a great musician. But apart from that, it was the crowd was great and it was strange. A lot of people, a lot of people came in who I'd never seen at a gig before, and who had just seen that the gig was happening and who decided to take a punt and come along. That's awesome. And a few people who came along, like there was one American guy who had seen, this guy's going to America on tour this year, sweet, so I'll go and check him out because, you know, he's from America. And yeah, loved it. So it was awesome, it was a really nice night.
Yeah, that's one of the good things about that area, you know, the whole whammy bar, wine cellar, back room. A lot of people just move between the three to see what do they want to go to that day.
Yeah. And I mean, in a city where, you know, within the next couple of weeks, we're going to have like what, a quarter of the venues that we had, with two venues close, and, you know, that's you. But yeah, Auckland does not have as many venues as a city this size should have. So the people that want to see live music, they've only got a few choices, and those choices are about to get less.
Yeah. So you're moving over to the States?
Yeah. I still, Uncle Donald still has to stamp the visa properly. So, you know, who knows what Donald Trump's going to do. I actually had to sign, one of the forms I had to sign in the whole process was the one stating that if the current administration changes its immigration policy at any point in time, whether before you leave or you're there, you know, that's it. You know, and I was like, fair enough. So yeah, it's interesting times in America, but I think it's always interesting times in America. But yeah, apart from getting that one little last bit of protocol done at the consulate, yeah, it's all set up and ready to go.
Great. So what made you pick the States?
Partly because I could. This visa came up. I mean, I get a 1 year working green card, you know, so that's ace. I don't have to sneak in. I can go there legitimately and be there and work and tour around for a full year and make American bucks as well, which is useful if you're going to be traveling around the States. Apart from that, you know, childhood dreams. Always wanted to be in New York. Always wanted to be an artist in New York. And apart from that, just seeing all these places. I mean, going to Nashville, going to Memphis, going to New Orleans, going to Seattle. I've got friends in Seattle and other places that have no real music scene or art scene, but just I've got friends, quite a few friends living around the States. So, yeah, I'm there. Yeah, it's been a long dream, and finally I'm going to get there.
Sounds good. So you got a farewell talk, which I suppose you already started at the Wine Cellar?
Well, the Wine Cellar was the first one of it, yeah. But yeah, it's a small tour, just gapping down to a few venues. So we've got Lee Sawmill on the 11th, which is an afternoon show. And that's with Mice on Stilts, who are fucking awesome. Night before that is Eccentric and the Coromandel, because the guys in the band really wanted to go to the Coromandel. So I was like, sweet, we'll go to the Coromandel, and it's a great venue, nice place. And then the weekend after, on Friday the 16th, we're going to the Refinery, which is in the Pairora area. And then that's it. Those will be the last gigs I'll be playing with the current band for a while, unless get that 10 million listens on Spotify in the next couple of months and I can afford to fly them to the States.
Well, you never know.
Never know. This interview could be it. People see this and we're off the hook.
Spotify, people. Spotify. So tell us about your songwriting. Well, not so much the lyrics, but the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
How do you come up with the ideas? Is it based around? Do you do the whole thing?
Yeah. And I think there's kind of two ways I seem to go about it. One is that I'm just screwing around and come up with, and go, oh, those chords. Oh, those chords sound alright. Yeah, better figure out something to do with that. Another way is that I'm trying to practice somebody else's song. I'm trying to learn a cover or something, and I screw it up. And in screwing it up, I go, actually, that sounds alright as well. Yeah, no, I'm going to totally keep that. I was working on, I was just trying to learn a fingers picking style, a particular style, and it was not the exact song the way he plays it, but it was a kind of style around Bob Dylan's Don't Think Twice. And over time I just kind of went, well, this isn't exactly the way he's playing it, but this is interesting. So another song kind of came out of that. Yeah, and it's fun. Yeah, it's fun when I don't know, I love tripping over songs.
So how many songs do you come up with in a certain periods of time?
It's kind of there's two things there. How many songs do I come up with, and how many songs do I actually finish writing? It changes depending on how busy I am with other stuff. But over the course of a month, probably maybe 5 to 10 different song ideas, whether it be a melody or a lyric, or quite often lyrics and melody kind of come in at the same time, or a guitar thing I'm working on, and there's something based around that. Get 5 to 10, I guess, a month, depending on what's going on. How many do I actually get to the point where it's like, yep, I've worked on that, I finished it? Maybe one a month, if I'm lucky. Yeah. One that I'm happy with, I guess. Yeah, it takes a while. I like the process. I'm not just jam that one, next. I like going, okay, cool, let's work with the structure. Let's see what I can do with this that's different, that's interesting, and really push it. So I love sitting down and spending time with the idea once the first ideas come out. Very rarely. I think only once did I sit down and finish a song in a couple of hours, and it was done, and then went and recorded it, and it was okay. And I still play it live, not really with the band, but that was the only song I've ever done where it's been, that fast.
So a bit of a perfectionist?
Yeah, I don't think it's a good thing. I mean, you hear about, like Neil Young kind of saying, that song After the Gold Rush, took me at least half an hour to come up with most of that song. Yeah, it took a long time. I don't know how he does it, guys like that. I guess they're just playing all the time, every day. Yeah. I guess more of a Leonard Cohen. Leonard Cohen took years to finish songs. I guess I'm the same.
So you've mentioned a few of the artists that inspire you. When you're picking members that you have with your band, to play with you, do they have similar interests, or do you just go purely on musical talent?
I kind of went on who actually wanted to play with me. I've got lots of friends. I've got lots of buddies who play music and who are professionals, and at various times have got them to come and sit in, or if I've been doing a recording somewhere, I've got them to come and lay down some tracks. I mean, some amazing people. But on the one hand, they're all really busy, and on the other hand, I think I approach things a bit differently. It's not conventional song structure a lot of the times, and some musicians kind of look at me a bit weird. So part of the reason why I work with Joel and Sam is because they didn't look at me weird. They went, sweet man, love what you're doing here, let's work on it. And I don't dictate, I don't give them stuff and say, yep, this is the key, yep, this is where I want you to go. I'm just like, look, here's the vibe. What do you guys have to offer? What do you want to play on this? And then we kind of go, oh yeah, that's working, or oh, maybe it doesn't feel quite right. But I really like the idea that you collaborate with other people. You don't tell them what to do. You find out what they offer and what they're going to give to the song. Same with anything, like I'm working with a woman called Hayley on some videos. And it's just like, here's a couple of ideas, Hayley, but what do you think when you hear the song? And what she comes up with usually is way more interesting than what I just dictated to her, because she knows what she's doing with videos. Those guys know what they're doing with their instruments, so let them put their input in.
Makes sense. So what are they like touring with?
Oh, they're awesome. It's just love fest the whole way. Not always. Good actually. Yeah, last year we did a pretty big tour. I think I was saying we started about the 30th of September and went through into the beginning of November, and then I did a solo tour over in Australia. Just didn't take the guys over there, couldn't really afford to do that. But yeah, we were stuck in the car, together with all the gears, touring around quite a bit, because we nailed the South Island, did some really good jaunts around the north. And I discovered that, I knew this anyway, but I thought having other people around would be great. Somebody else can share the driving, somebody can, do some phone calls ahead just to make sure everything's organised. And in the end I realised I like the driving. Even when we went from Dunedin to Greymouth in one jaunt, because we had a gig the next night. And, I just knew by that stage I was like, no dude, I'm driving. No, I don't need a hand. I just need to drive. Yeah. I'm way happier and way more relaxed and got way more energy doing an 8.5 hour drive than if I'm in the back seat just kind of, I don't know. I just felt better driving, which I think was cool for the other guys, because I think they felt better just chilling and relaxing. Yeah, but I love that bit, and also one of the great things about touring around is just what are the other guys actually going to play. So, everybody takes a turn picking something to play, and discovered some pretty amazing new artists because of what the guys decided to play on the journey. That was one of the fun bits. Yeah. Sometimes not, Joel. Although I have great respect for Puce Mary. If you ever get a chance to look into an artist called Puce Mary, Joel had some of her cassettes, played those cassettes, and really interesting, quite inspiring. Going to listen to something else for a while now. Puce Mary is pretty full on.
All right. So, how was the Australian tour?
It was good. Yeah, it was really good. So I did my first Australian tour in May of last year, and I was there for a whole month. And it was awesome, because I was freaked out. I thought, New Zealand solo touring guy, playing gigs, nobody's going to turn up, nobody's going to care. And actually, it turned out to be a really nice tour. People did turn up. Some venues paid really well. Everybody was really nice and respectful. Nobody treated me like shit, and ended up having such a good time that I just immediately booked the next tour, and only ended up being over there for five gigs, I think it was, for that November tour. And I was knackered, man. At the end of that New Zealand run, literally, like I played a solo set the night before jumping on the plane, and that night I just got drunk and thought, I'm screwed. I'm gonna die in Australia. I can't do this. I haven't got the energy for this. And it was weird. I got to Australia, went straight to a venue in Melbourne, where I wasn't doing a proper set. I was just doing a little. I was asked if I could just do a few little bits and pieces. And man, when I walked in the door, but it was like, oh, Callum, man, awesome to see you. Hey, do you want a feed? Have a beer. Come on, man. It's just like, shit, I've just arrived in Melbourne, this huge city, and everybody's like, hey, man, good to see you. You come all the way from New Zealand to play. And suddenly I was like, hey, this is going to be sweet. So I was tired by the end of that little run, but it was awesome, really awesome. Played a great place in Castlemaine, actually. Castlemaine. Just, got to be careful with the Australian. But yeah, played a great gig in a place called Castlemaine, which is north of Melbourne, and another great gig across in a place called Saints and Sailors in Port Arlington, which is about an hour and a half ferry ride from Melbourne. And I've played there a couple of times now, doing 3-hour sets. And yeah, fully recommend anybody, if you just want a feed or a drink, go to Saints and Sailors in Port Arlington. But if you're a musician and you can do a nice solo set, even a band thing, get hold of them, because that is a really, really nice venue.
Oh, very good. 3-hour set.
Yep. I mean, I could have, the first time I went there, it was another musician who hooked it up. And there were 3 of us doing an hour each. And when I rebooked, I kind of just needed the cash. And I just thought, 3 hours of mostly originals. How's this going to work? And I thought, no, I can do this. I can make this work. So I just worked hard out. And I threw covers in them, did them my own way. And yeah, it ended up being a really good night. I mean, I worked my ass off. I was hoarse by the end of that gig. I mean, I know some people who do covers gigs, who do 4-hour sets, and that's, I can imagine that next hour, how mammoth it would be just to go that next hour, especially if you're playing gigs every day and every night. You know, that's a marathon set. But 3 hours, I got to the end and I thought, yep, sweet, I know I can do this now. I'm happy.
Oh, 3 hours.
I know, bro. But they paid as well, so, you know, sweet. Yeah, and they took care of me, so, you know, and I sold some albums that night as well, which is awesome. So, you know, happy days.
So your album, it was originally, you didn't sell it digitally, did you? You just physical copy?
It was Bandcamp or at gigs, just the EP. And yeah, partly that was just being a bit overwhelmed at the time. It was like, all right, I've done the album, I'm booking a tour. Okay, all this other stuff. I'm sure it's cool. I could get, you know, digital rights to do it, or I could do it myself. But screw it. I just want to get it out there, get it on the road, and was really happy with that. But kind of figured, it was time. It's time to actually put it up there, get into Spotify. I had a single up there, and it was looking really lonely. And I figured, okay, before, it's kind of almost like clearing the closet in a way. It's like, okay, now I've got to honour this. I've got to do the right thing, put this EP up, all the platforms, and then the other stuff we've been recording over the course of this year, 2018, I can start putting those up. Everything else is up there. I'm happy now.
Yeah. So was your trip to Australia, was that one of the things that sort of inspired you to look at other countries further?
Partly, yeah. I mean, this American thing's been in my head for the whole time. Obviously, years. But yeah, going to Australia was me just sort of like venturing out again. Because I mean, when I started playing music, I was living in Paris and I had an English girlfriend who went to London. But I was nervous as fuck. I really was, and I was too nervous to really play at that stage, you know. So going to Australia was, you know, that was the next big step. I was like, okay, I've played around New Zealand a few times and I'm ready to do this now. So doing that, I went, yep, okay, I can do the next step. This visa's available. If I don't take the visa, I'm not going to get the chance again. So, yep, I'm doing it. I'm going.
All right. Sweet. Well, I think that's all the questions I've got for you.
Dude, awesome. Good questions.
Thank you. So, are you going to play a song or two for us today?
Yeah. Dude, 2 songs.
As much as you want.
Dude, that's double the fee.
It's like 3 hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hope you got the battery life.
Well, any ideas what you'd like to play, or if you're...
Yeah, I've got I figured, you know, since, you know, you just asked me about the EP, I may as well play the lead song off the EP.
All right.
And then after that, I don't know, if you want a second song, I'll just toss a coin.
All right, sweet.
Easy.
Well, thank you for having a chat to us.
Cheers, Alex. Thanks for having me, mate.
No worries.
This song is Beresford Street. About a place in Auckland called Beresford Street. And the notorious people and places that hang out there, including me. Roll me to the bottom of Beresford Street, hang me out to dry. Roll me to the bottom of Beresford Street, or bury me alive. I'm in prison in the middle of Beresford Square, chained to the bar. I'm in prison in the middle of Beresford Square, between the bottle and this guitar. So just pour another whiskey, maybe shoot me in the head. If I survive tonight, I'll still wish that I was dead. Hanging with the hookers and the screaming queens, I don't know what to say. So I'll sing another song and maybe cut a few lines, I might even pray. I'm staring down the barrel of the Beresford Street towards the church on the hill. Should I try to make my Sunday meeting, or drop another pill? of whiskey, maybe shoot me in the head. If I survive tonight, I still wish that I was dead. You know that I'm not the kind of guy who can say no, so I guess this is how I go. Ba-da-dum. Roll me to the bottom of Beresford Street, hang me out to dry. I said hang me at the bottom of Beresford Street before I see the light of day. Why do I end up this way? This is a newer one. We recorded it at the lab not so long ago. We'll release it sometime this year, and it's called Friday Clothes. And hopefully it's not how most of you people at home end up finishing your weekends. Well, it's another shattered morning. I'm stuck between a rock and a headache. I'm a shambles and my lover wants to move to a new place. I guess by now I should know how it goes when I wake up on a Monday in my Friday clothes. We went out on Friday and we hit all our usual bars. You were wearing that red dress and showing the world your particular charms. Midnight came and I got me some gear to keep me in the zone. Next thing you know, I wake up on this couch and I'm back on my own. Guess by now I should know how it goes when I wake up on a Monday in my Friday clothes. When I was a teen, my mind was in such a bind. I thought I'd find the meaning to life in a pipe or in suicide. But then I fell for you and my love, you turned the tide. Last time you left, I found the going a bit too rough. When you came back to me, I cleaned up for about a month. I cut back on my drinking and I quit smoking cigarettes. Maybe that's why I go so hard on everything else that I can get. We were riding the tidal wave of Friday nights when you took my hand and you whispered it was time to stop hiding behind the lights. You started to cry and said I turned into a man you didn't recognize. I was caught between the devil and your broken eyes when you said our love was just a victim of the pipe. this couch and the boss is starting to call. But I've got to write you this message, and love, it's gonna take my all. I guess by now I should know how it goes when I wake up on a Monday with my head in my hands. The words you said hard on my heart. Please don't leave. But maybe this is how it goes. I mean, dude, you know, sirens is like keeping it West Auckland, but a kid screaming, that really keeps it.
That fitted into the song perfectly, so.
Oh, hilarious and awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.